Mart, which we're going to see in just a minute, is much, much smaller. The merchandise mart only cost $33 million at the exact same time. It's because acoustically, this building is perfect. You can sit in any seat throughout the entire opera house, still be able to hear every breath, every sound perfectly. Next building that we're seeing off to our right-hand side here, Bank of America building. Now, the building that was here before this building went up, this just topped out about 2 months ago. It was a low-lying building. See these panels on the Riverwalk here with the corrugated metal, kind of like a wave pattern that you're seeing? The building that was here before, it was a very short mid-century modern building, and the whole thing was covered in those metal panels. So in order for you have like all of your elements that you want to keep, historical components within the city, in order for them to get the approval to build this massive Bank of America building, they had to incorporate those old metal panels into the new design. So that's how they integrated in the Riverwalk, and there's actually places on the interior of the building where you can still see that as well. We got a red brick building off to our right-hand side here. So this is going to be that Chicago school style. Steel frame construction. Bones of the building, there's no question as to where the structural elements of this building is. The only thing that we're adding is we're just going to put this simple red brick facade on the outside. This is actually the site in which Lincoln was nominated for presidency. That next bridge we're going under, Lake Street. It's going to be one of our short ones. I want our heads as we're going underneath Lake. Continues off to our right-hand side. So this green curvy building that we're seeing to our right here, this is the perfect example of postmodernism. When Cole, Pedersen, and Fox designed this building in 1983, they knew that loud train was going to be passing past the bottom half of that building about every 5 minutes. Who is going to want to have their office on the bottom of this building and have to deal with that loud train going past? So typically, when you design a building, you put all the maintenance for the building on top of the building, like air conditioner units, things like that. That always goes on top. What they did with 333 is they put all that maintenance at the bottom of the building. So that's why when we look at the base of this building, you're seeing granite. That's all its maintenance. The office floors, those don't start off till about the 5th floor, and then they go up from there. Curve of the building reflects the curve of the river. The green color of the building reflects the green color of our river. Everything about the design of this building is meant to fit in this specific location. When 333 was constructed, it won the most awards of any building here in Chicago. More than the Sears Tower, John Hancock, everything. It was the most liked building. We're gonna look just to the left of 333. See that tan building? This is going to be 225 Wacker. Tan building and the green building, same architects. The tan one was made 6 years later. We made this really modern green curvy building. It was a whole bunch of awards. Why not just make another green curvy building? It's not the idea behind postmodernist contextualism. We're no longer on the corner of our intersection, our 3 branches of the Chicago River. Now we want to design a building and to fit in all these 1920s, 1930s Art Deco style buildings on Wacker Drive. So one's going to reflect the nature, the other is going to reflect the buildings around it. Up to our right hand side, we got our gorgeous brand new Riverwalk that you're seeing with our double-decker Wacker Drive. So when I first started giving the tours a little while ago, right, there was no Riverwalk underneath these bridges, okay? So if you wanted to go down to the Riverwalk, you could, but then every time you got to a bridge, walk up a whole bunch of stairs, deal with the traffic, cross the street, and then come back down. And then you had to keep going up, down, up, down, up, down. Now what we've done is we've continued that Riverwalk to go underneath the bridges. So we have, it's 6 sections all together on our main branch here. This was just completed a few years ago. Now you can walk the entire expanse of the main branch of the Chicago River on the water, not have to deal with any traffic, any of that at all. So this is the goal for our entire, all three branches of the Chicago River, is to eventually get this river walk on all components. Any new construction has to include a river walk. It's the old construction, the stuff that's already been here, that we're working to kind of add those components to it, so we'll be able to have that continuous river walk all together. We've always kind of had this appreciation for the lake, and being able to have that public access on the lake wasn't really until recently where we started to also acknowledge how amazing our river is and really start to kind of clean it up. Next building we're looking at, we're going to go a little bit ahead of the boat, still to our right. See the green building with the gold top to it? That's going to be the Carbide carbon building. 1929. This building, the design of it was thought to have come from a New Year's party where they were drinking champagne. So that green terracotta base, and then you got your little gold foil on the top. The building has recently been converted into a hotel that you can stay in. A lot of the buildings that we're going to see right at this intersection up here, at our main branch, kind of the core of that, have been converted into hotels. Also to our right, we have a tan building at the top of which, really large rotunda, and then we can see the four smaller rotundas on the corners there. That's going to be the Jewelers Building by Cleavar and Fugard, 1926. So the reason this building gets its name, the Jewelers Building, at the time the building was constructed, there was actually an elevator shaft that you could drive your car into. So you literally just drove right into the elevator, and then it would take you up to the floor that you needed to go to. So this then attracts all the jewelers, because if they ever needed to unload any merchandise, anything like that, they don't have to worry about bringing it from the street to the building. They're right at their floor. The next grouping of buildings that we're seeing kind of straight ahead of us here, very unique. We really don't see this here in Chicago. This isn't a very Chicago concept that we have. But see the white one in the middle with that real skinny tower coming off of the top of it? That's what's called Nether Tower. So Nether Tower was completed in 1929. The original plan, the concept here, is Nether Tower was supposed to have a twin to its left. Exact same building, right? We can see the size of it, exactly the same for that space. But 1929 market crash. They built the first one, we never got to the second one. It wasn't until just recently where we actually connected Nether Tower with the building to its left, which is the money guaranteed accident building. And so we're not using that Art Deco style that we had before. All glass, all been converted into a really nice hotel. Gorgeous views that you can get from the top of that. You actually, if you're at the top of the London Guaranteed accident building, you get the whole main branch of the Chicago River, Michigan Avenue, you can see the lakefront, a really, really nice bar, restaurant that they have at the top there. We're gonna move over to our left-hand side just because it's a little bit better view as we're going through for one building. See the tan one just ahead of us to your left? Looks like there's a Gothic cathedral on the top of it. This is going to be Tribune Tower. Tribune Tower is actually part of a contest that was held in 1922 to design the world's most beautiful office building. Howes and Hood are going to be the winners of that contest. So the whole idea that we're seeing here, we've got this neoclassical style, Gothic style cathedral on the top. Is all offices though. It doesn't quite make sense, right? We're going to go back to that in just a second, but I want to point out our Dusable Bridge, Michigan Avenue, this is the shortest of all of the bridges that we're going to be going underneath on our tour. So, our Tribune Tower, right? We have this Gothic cathedral on top of an office space, right? Louis Sullivan was one of the architects who was very vocal about how much he disliked the Tribune Tower. Why are we putting a French Catholic Gothic cathedral on top of an office in Chicago? Like, this makes no sense at all. So that is the last building that's going to be done in that neoclassical style. From that point forward is when we introduce that Art Deco. Tribune Tower is in the process of being renovated right now. Always been offices. It will soon be condos that you can purchase. And in addition to restoring and renovating the older structure, they're going to put another tower just to its right. It'll attach to it. That, if approved, will be the new second tallest building here in the city of Chicago. So you get that old with the new, the juxtaposition between the two. All right, we're gonna go back to our right-hand side. A little bit ahead of us here, we got our black box, Mies van der Rohe style. And then just to the left of that, we're seeing this triangular shaped building that's kind of poking out. That's gonna be the Swiss Hotel by Harry Weiss. Harry Weiss loves triangles, puts triangles in almost every single design that he makes. We're gonna see another one, the River Cottages, a little bit later on our tour, all triangles. But probably one of his most famous triangles, most infamous in our city of Chicago, is where all of our governors go